All right, so this first topic that I'm talking about is extremely important for everybody, and it's something that I want to talk about and touch base about. This computer's in the way, because I think it's important that you guys have a handle or at least understand how this works. So I'm talking about suspension prevention slash performance notifications and things like that. There are many causes that can lead to a suspension. You want to make sure that you are aware of and are following Amazon's terms of service. And if you are unsure and you want to do something, always ask first, because it's easier for me to answer an email saying, no, don't do that, than have to write you a plan of action. I don't mind doing it, but I don't want it to have to get to that point. So what are some general guidelines? Maintain good receipts and don't send anything into Amazon that you don't have a receipt for. And I can't stress this enough. So if you have old clothes lying around, or someone gives you something and you're like, oh, this has a good sales rank on Amazon, I should post it up there. Do not do that because you don't have a receipt for it, and that is the one item that you will get an inauthentic claim on. It never fails. Also, if you are dealing with retail receipts, invest in a good scanner and scan those into a cloud system so that you can access them easily. We have a drive here for us where we keep all of our RA receipts, and it's broken down by year, by month, and by day. And we can easily access any receipts that we may need. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So you can see this is what a good scan of a receipt looks like. These are clear. You can see everything. The receipt is there. And yes, you can cut a receipt if it's long. You just have to make sure that you get the entire receipt on the page. So if you're submitting receipts to Amazon and they are blurry, they're taken from across the room, they're dark, anything like this, Amazon will deny your submissions just based on the way your receipts look. So if you're sending in questionable receipts to Amazon, stop it right now. I know that some of you are, because I have seen them, and they have given me nightmares when I go to sleep at night and gray hair. So just make sure that you're submitting good receipts. If you have questions about how your receipts look, if they need to be done a little bit better or suggestions, you can send me some examples and I'll be happy to give you some feedback. Answer your performance notifications immediately. So a lot of people get suspended because they get a performance notification for Amazon, and Amazon may not be asking for anything, but they still want you to acknowledge those notifications. So if Amazon sends you something saying that we received an inauthentic claim about your items, your listing is still active, but make sure that you edit your page or edit your practices so that this doesn't happen again. Now, people will ignore those and not send anything to Amazon. I'm telling you that you should. So you should send the seller performance template and a copy of your receipts with the appropriate information highlighted. Because if you let performance notifications hang out, you will get suspended. So as soon as you get a performance notification that's not a pricing alert, those aren't problematic. I would suggest that you stop what you're doing and answer it right away. Because depending on what time of the year it is and how Amazon feels, they will have no patience whatsoever and they will suspend you right away. So that's something to be aware of. As I stated earlier, make sure that you put your documents in a cloud-based system so they are easily accessible. We had a client who got suspended while he was on vacation, and he had to cut his vacation short because all of his receipts were at home. So you don't want that to happen to you. If you get a performance notification right now, if everything is in a cloud-based system, you should be able to answer it right here while you're here. The template is on the matrix on the website. We have the phone app. The receipt should be in the cloud-based system, and then you just have to send that into Amazon. Don't try to game the system. Amazon will find out. So a lot of people think they are smarter than Amazon, and then it turns out to bite them in the behind. So don't forge documents and send that into Amazon. Don't have your friends leave reviews for your product, because Amazon will find out. Sometimes it takes them a little bit longer than other times, but they will find out. And we've had several instances where this has happened to people. Especially if you're doing brand approval, don't forge receipts, because Amazon is contacting those brands to double check that that person is an authorized distributor. So if you are doing some shifty things, I would really suggest you stop doing those shifty things, because you may be squeaking by right now, but the time will come. Don't get testy with Amazon. They control your livelihood. So if you're having an issue with Amazon, handle it in a professional manner. Don't send them an email like, it's up to you to figure it out, and you need to do this, that, and the third, because Amazon can easily shut you down, and all because you just had a temper tantrum at the time. So try to do it in a professional manner. If you are writing something up and all you can think is, I just need to be nasty to Amazon because I'm upset, send it to support, and I will give you something that is not nasty and professional to send, because I don't want you to get in a situation where something like that happens. We've had an ACE client who is no longer allowed to call into Amazon because they were so nasty to them on the phone, and at all, can't call them at all. Send brand new authentic items into Amazon. I know that sometimes people send in used items or other things like that, but we recommend sending in new items because it just cuts back on a lot of things. Don't source from China or on Alibaba. Now, people use Alibaba and China for private label, which is fine, but don't make that your OA source. Don't source in China or in Alibaba. Yesterday, I talked about the person that purchased the KitchenAids from China, and they didn't have the serial numbers. And also with Alibaba, they may not be an authorized distributor. So remember, that's key to selling things on Amazon. So avoid those two things. Okay, so, and let me see, because I have a couple more tips that I want to mention to you, and I might have put them on the back, so I'll leave that alone. So, that China counts, China, anywhere else overseas, if it's not from an authorized distributor, leave it alone. We are an authorized distributor. We have, if you get a performance notification, you can submit your GEMS receipts to prove that you purchased it from an authorized distributor. We have agreements directly from these vendors, from these companies, to sell these products. So we are an authorized distributor. In a lot of cases, if you go to their website and look for local stores, we actually do come up as a local store. So we are an authorized distributor. You're welcome. So some performance notifications that you can get is a safety concern, which has to deal with sending in products that that people complained about. Usually it's like in a food or health and personal care category. Now there are some templates in the matrix, in the templates and how-tos module that will help you answer these. So the seller performance template is for inauthentic claims. The intellectual property rights violation template is for IP claims and trademark infringements. And then down here somewhere, there is one for safety concern, so safety concern template. So if you get a safety concern, there is a template here. It looks like a plan of action. You just change around the things necessary. Submit your receipts. Whenever you submit a receipt, you want to highlight the store information, the product title, the quantity, and then submit that receipt. Now, if Amazon sends you back an email saying that they need buyer info, you're going to go back to that same highlighted receipt, highlight the last 4 digits of your credit card, and submit a bank statement. So let me back up. If you are doing RA, it's hard to supply buyer information, because when you go to a retail store, you just get like a regular receipt, doesn't have any information on it. So what we tell people to do is, if you're doing RA and you're paying with gift cards, is to put at least a couple of dollars on a credit card that is linked to your Amazon account. So that way you can submit your bank statement with the last 4 and prove that the receipt is connected to that buyer information. So this is a good practice that if you're not already implementing, that I think that you should. Now with OA, it's not so much of an issue because they will tell you that it's being shipped to your address. Also, if you're buying OA, make sure that you make an account to purchase OA items on that website, because Amazon will not accept shipment or order confirmations as proof of purchase, meaning you will have to take a screenshot of your order page on that website and submit that to Amazon as your proof of purchase. Yeah, so there goes Carla's answer right there. So with the safety concern, you send that there. With an inauthentic claim, you use the seller performance template and submit your receipts. With an IP claim, send the IP template, send your receipts. The key is saying that you did not create the listing when you get an IP or trademark claim. That is the key, because they're saying that you took that person's intellectual property, created a listing, and you're in violation. So the way that you argue it is that you did not create the listing. You didn't want to create a duplicate listing in Amazon and go against their terms of service, and that's how you get that taken care of. Now, with IP claims, you may not always need the receipt. So you may be able to get away with not having a receipt for IP claims, but there is a possibility that you might need to produce it. Trademark and IP claims are pretty much the same. Now, submission. You want to submit your documentation after 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is when the Seattle office closes and they kind of farm things out to the people overseas. And this can be your best chance of getting things approved. So whenever you have to submit any kind of documentation to Amazon, I suggest that you submit it after 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want to email notice-dispute@amazon.com and open a case. So if you get a message from Amazon and they say, oh, respond to this email, don't just respond to that email. Also go to your Seller Central account and submit the same documentation by opening a case. And the reason that you want to do this is because at least there is a history attached to your Amazon account of you responding to that email. We had a couple of people that were suspended because they responded to an email and then Amazon said they never got that email. So by always opening up a case with Amazon as well, if they say you never responded to this email, you can say, okay, well, go to my Amazon account. I opened the case on such and such a date, which is the same date that I sent the email. Do you have this handout? The suspension prevention is on the second page. Yep. Try to give you guys as much information as possible. So let me make this big so you can see it. So to open up a case, you go to help, then contact us down here, and then it's going to ask you what services can we help you with selling on Amazon. Sometimes this will pop up over here and then you can't click. So what you have to do is my something. It's usually my problem is not listed. Yeah, so you just click on anything, and then depending on what it is, you just have to open up the account. So if none of these apply, you can go to other issues, make a suggestion, and then just put your contact reason as whatever. Tell us your suggestion. So that's going to be the original message that you received from Amazon. So your violation email from Amazon, and then add attachments. That's going to be your receipts and your template. The templates that we talked about when we said that to go, when you get a performance notification, if you go to our website, we have the templates. So if you go to the website like that you shop on, just create an account. Yeah, like Target, create an account, and then there is a tab under accounts where you can go to your old orders, and then you can just take a screenshot of an old order. So I mentioned send the original complaint as the body of the message and the template and the receipts as the attachment. Highlight the store info, product name, quantity, your info if available, and if necessary, the last four of your credit card. If you submit, and here goes a tip right here where I talk about putting a couple of dollars on your credit card. And also another thing, if Amazon asks for your receipts for the last 365 days, they mean it. They're not there. If you send them one receipt, they will reject you, and you could get suspended because you're not following the directions and you're being a little bit suspicious. So if you have a small quantity for the history of the last 365 days, just tell them in the template. Say, I have attached my receipts for the last 365 days. I've only purchased this item such and such many times. The receipts that I'm attaching reflects the 365-day history. But make sure that you include that 365-day history, which is why we want you to have some kind of purchase tracking system, so that if you just put in an ASIN, it'll tell you every time that you have purchased that item. If you don't have that document, we actually have one in the matrix in the same templates how-to module. It is the purchase tracking template. And the way that this works is that you put your information in here, and then you can easily search it to find what you're looking for. So there's one for Amazon orders, there's one for RA Scoutify, so you can just copy your buy list in here. There's one for Profit Bandit, you can just copy your buy list in here. And then for OA orders, for now, you will have to do them manually, but we do have a client who's working on software that will pull that information for you automatically. He is testing it out just to get the last bit of bugs out of it. We have seen it. It looks like fantastic software. And then as soon as it's ready, we're going to do a webinar with him so that you guys can also take advantage of this and kind of take some of the hard work out of keeping track of your OA orders. But this document then becomes searchable. So if Amazon gives you an ASIN that you're in violation of, you just search this document. It'll tell you every time that it appears on the document. It'll also tell you the date that you purchased it and the store that you purchased it from. So if you have a cloud-based system for your receipts, you can just say, oh, I purchased this item on July 17, 2016, and then all you have to do is go into that cloud-based system, go to July 16, 2016, and there goes the receipt right there. So they kind of work hand in hand. So if you aren't keeping track of when you are purchasing items, I definitely recommend starting doing that. And for IP claims and trademark violations, try solving the issue with Amazon first, because you may not even need to reach out to the vendor to get that taken care of. It may be an unnecessary step. Yep, exactly. So sometimes your IP complaints and your trademark violations aren't even from an actual company. They're from your competition who's trying to knock you off of a listing. So sometimes trying to hunt people down and get permission and get letters is a waste of time. So I recommend trying to get these things taken care of on your own instead of reaching out to the person who filed a complaint against you. Are there any questions about suspension prevention or anything like that? Also, another key point to put on here, if Amazon tells you that something is under review or something like that, don't send more items into Amazon. If Amazon has an issue with something, that thing is frozen. Don't send more in there. Don't do anything like that because they will suspend you. So if they say an ASIN is under review and they'll let you know when you can sell it again, don't send more of that product in there. Freeze that listing.
What about the Marshalls and TJ Maxx?
You can, we source it at Marshalls and TJ Maxx. Sometimes those are just a little bit harder to get approved, but they do work. And we don't take pictures or anything like that to help send in. Are there any questions on suspension prevention or performance notifications? And also, I'll get you in a second, Himanshu. You want to treat negative feedback like it's a performance notification. So if you get negative feedback and you have no idea how to handle it or what to say to them, send me a copy of the feedback to support, and I will tell you how to take care of that. Yes?
You said that if Amazon tells you or you're telling us to freeze the receipt or...
So if Amazon tells you that something is under review or you're in violation, don't send more of that product into Amazon until you get the all clear from Amazon.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in my case, like the problem that I'm telling you of the missing items that I send, that they claim there are missing items.
That's a separate issue. We'll talk about that at 1 o'clock. Yes, Himanshu.
So if I open a case and everything, so there's that case that I.
You see the case?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll show you that too. No problem. So if you go to up at the top, just click on Seller Central to get back to the main dashboard. If you go to manage your case log, view your case log right here, and it will show you all of the ones that you have open. Excellent. Does anyone else have any questions about any of this? Yes.
No, this point on the suspension thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting like in one day the 56 things stranded from listings.
Mm-hmm. That happened to someone who does a private label thing. So it depends on what it was stranded for. So he was doing private label, and just one of his sentences was in violation of Amazon. So it went to stranded, and then the listing disappeared. So we opened up a case asking why it went into stranded. They explained it to us. We just took out that sentence, and then it was restored. So you just have to figure out why it's in stranded, and then if there's anything you can do to get it out.
Okay, and is there like right now I'm getting like 1 or 2 a day at least of products that are undeliverable. Is there some like resources that are aware?
Like your products that you're sending into Amazon are undeliverable, or customer orders.
They get refunded because it says undeliverable. And I think it's like where they're paying people that location to deliver.
It might be. Unfortunately, there's nothing that you can do about that one. I mean, you can open a case with Amazon and just tell them that you're getting a lot of these, but there's some suspicious things going on in Amazon. Like I myself, because I am a Prime member, I have gotten in my own account that items have not been delivered when they have been delivered. So there's a little bit of suspicious things going on right now. Are there any other questions? Yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah, you should be getting a monthly report. So a lot of them went out, what is today? The 8th. So a lot of them went out on the 1st, and we got emails saying that they came out. So just go and talk to Jaquel when you get a chance, and just let her, just talk to her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should be getting a monthly report. So just check with Jaquel. She'll let you know. They do, and I always forget one of them. They do refunds, reimbursements, reconciliations. They fix stranded inventory. Then they'll try to do your feedback. Well, they can only, like, they submit the initial. So sometimes with the feedback, you'll have to follow up because there's only so much they can do. Like, they can't submit your receipts and things like that. So they might open up an initial case, and then you kind of have to monitor the rest of it. You should get an email in your Amazon account. So we'll have to check on that. Yes. It is absolutely something that you have to request, because we have to have user permissions to your Amazon account in order to do it. So if you're interested in having our VAs work on your back end, just send an email to support saying that you want the back end VA service. And what they'll do is they'll monitor that, and then at the end of the month, they'll send you a report on things that they do. I was just checking it because the client responded, thank you, that we were working on their account. We got them back $597 this month. And I think refunds or something, I think it was reimbursements, but just in that one category because I was flying through the email. So it's sometimes you leave money on the table. So this is kind of what that service does. Okay, yeah, so I'll answer that. So shared IP address is another kind of violation that Amazon has, and that's more along the lines if you log in to 2 separate Amazon accounts. from a private IP address, which is why we can't give you guys the Wi-Fi here, because we are a private, our internet is private, it's not a public one. Now, if you go to a public place and they have a public Wi-Fi, then you can use it and it's not an issue. So if you go to Starbucks or someplace like that and you log into your Amazon account and somebody else logs into their Amazon account, it's not an issue. Same thing for if you stay at a hotel, it's not an issue. It's more along the lines of when you are on a private internet. So if you go over to your friend's house and they have a Amazon account and you log into your Amazon account on their internet, then that's what the issue is.
So it means that if you're going somewhere else, you have to bring the computer that you're using for Apple.
No, so it means that you like yesterday when you tried to log into your account here on the private, you just can't do that. You have to be on the public internet. You can have more than one seller account with Amazon's permission, but if you have two seller accounts without Amazon's permission, that is against their terms of service, and that's how you get that claim.